Good evening, everyone. I decided to come on a minute early to see if there were any technical hitches, and I should be able to see if there's any chat comes up or anybody's actually watching this. My name's Colin Woodward, and I am very new to YouTube, and it's absolutely brilliant to be here. I'm hoping that there'll be a few will come online and I'll be able to field some Q&As as we go on. I wanted to give you, I guess, a little bit of background as to how I have arrived here and what I'm doing and all those kind of things. So you can ask me questions as I go. This will remain uh, on the YouTube channel for probably years after this point, and I'll look back in huge embarrassment, or else think it was an absolutely brilliant idea. So to give you a bit of context, bit about who I am, I'm 44. Hey, Dean. I'm 44 years old. I am married to the lovely Claire. I am dad to Anna, who is 14, and Isaac, who is 12, which is absolutely brilliant. And I'm sitting out in this lovely little studio, and I'll give you a little bit of the story as to how I arrived here. Whenever I was telling somebody today, when I was about 8 years old, I really wanted to be a surgeon, and then very quickly, very quickly learned that I really didn't have the brain power to do that, and probably the inclination either. And then I sat down. I was sitting out the back garden and I drew a washing line in pencil. And I thought, now I can do that. I was pretty impressed with what I drew. And I thought I can do that. So, really, from that point on, I just wanted to be an artist. I wanted to exhibit all over the world, talk about my work. And that's pretty much all I wanted to do. So, I went through school. I did GCSE art, I did A level art. Now, A level art, at that time, I was doing watercolor. And I had learned to do these kind of shapes, and then I also you'll hear me talk as we go on about how watercolor is actually waterproof. So what I would do is I would do these kind of nearly geometric shapes in a still life or whatever was required in the exam. And then I would have my trusty hairdryer and I would dry it. And then I'd be able to add another layer because whenever watercolor is dry, it is waterproof. So I remember my A level art teacher said to me, he was just really, really encouraging, but also said to me, I don't think that you're going to do well in your A level because they don't really get what you do. And I have to say, I mean, he said that to me probably 25 years ago, and that really has stayed with me. So I got a C at A level. I was really, really disappointed with that, but I already got an offer to go into to study foundation in art and design in the University of Ulster, the Art College in Belfast. So I went in there really with the idea to do design. And as I went on, I very quickly discovered that design wasn't the thing for me. And you do this time called consolidation. And I consolidated in fine art photography. And I remember my tutor said to me, "You're absolutely nuts in doing this." And I just loved it. I felt like a fish in water. And the tutor in the end apologized and said, "Listen, I'm sorry. Clearly, you are a fine artist." And then I went on and studied fine art in the University of Ulster, in the same university in Belfast. Stayed there for 3 years, and I came out with a 2-1 in a fine arts degree. And I did lots of things. I was a family portrait photographer for a while, which I have to say totally destroyed any desire to do art for a long time. And then that creativity went into gardening for many, many years. And where we are now in the garden was where my greenhouse was. I got a greenhouse when it was my 30th birthday, and that sat here to really just a few months ago. And then came lockdown 2020. And my daughter said to me, "Do you want to come and paint, Dad?" And I thought, I was sure, why not? So went it was one Sunday afternoon, and she was doing self portraits. Now, you know me at all. I don't do people. Well, up to this point, I've never really felt I've successfully drawn people. Maybe once or twice, like maybe once or twice. I remember I did one of just a continuous line drawing of C.S. Lewis. I was really pleased with it. But apart from that, I've never really thought I was very successful at doing portraits. And so she anyway invited me to do the self portrait, and for some reason it just lit a fire. Bought myself some pens, and then started painting in watercolor. Now I always loved watercolor, but hadn't painted in it for years. And I think really, in reflection, because of the damage that was done by the grade at A level. But my art tutor had enough wisdom to drop in a bit of encouragement there. And really, then from that point, I painted most days. And I remember when the first one sold, thinking, "Jeepers, this is something," and just started. And once you had that, that was such an encouragement. You were just able to keep going and keep going and keep going. So I have had the privilege of doing lots and lots of commissions. I did commissions for a university, which is a commission. They asked for a suite of paintings, which I'd never heard of before. But I did that suite of paintings for Stranmillis College, the university, the teaching university in Belfast, and that was just a joy. And that actually led then to the opportunity to teach an evening class just for 2 hours, one day a week, and that's been brilliant doing that. We're now in the second term of that, which is just great. So here I am. I really am very passionate about watercolor and ink. I've learned so much over the years. You know, whenever I was in a school and actually in art college as well, it was really about. I mean, painting is a really good leveler because if you let it, you can stare at this painting that you've done and think it's just a total mess. What I've learned, and being, I suppose, in my 40s coming to this, you learn a few things. What I have learned is that you just have to start, and you also just have to keep going, and then you just have to listen whenever the painting in a sense tells you that it's finished. And sometimes the things that we paint aren't to our taste as the artist, but actually it might be to somebody else's. So I have found a lot of freedom and joy in just jumping in. I love that whenever you're drawing in ink, that it's indelible. And I'm not going to go over it with Tipex. I mean, it's a different kettle of fish whenever you are painting in oil or acrylic. Then you can really either scrape off or paint over or whatever. But it is just wonderful to just jump in, and the things a bit like Bob Ross's key phrase of happy accidents. You know, one on some lives I've misspelt things, I've put lines where I didn't want them to go, and I've just learned to go with that. And actually, in the end, once you persevere and trust the process, there's that phrase again, which is probably overused. But whenever you just trust the process, then you arrive somewhere. I am a watercolor and ink artist, as I've already said, or a watercolorist, as I've discovered is probably the correct terminology. But I also love to do lino prints. I enjoy etching. I like drawing in charcoal, pencil. I enjoy pastels. I've had a go at some screen print, which I mean I thought was okay. I love to paint in acrylic and tend to overlay those acrylics with oil pastel. I really enjoy watercolor pencils, and that it's a totally different medium in effect to just using watercolor from a little half pan block. As I said, I really enjoy doing acrylic, and I've just finished an oil. You can just see it a little bit there. Just finished that one off this evening. It's been staring at me for a while, and been just trying to figure out what to do with it. So I love playing about with lots of different things, and I use these little stampers that are just sitting on my desk. If I'd done any preparation or any wisdom or had any wisdom, I would have got them and shown them. But you'll see them in the live that I did in Strandhill in Sligo there just a couple of days ago. So that's me. I love noticing things that are pretty common. I find that art is not about. I'm not a realist painter or a hyper realist. I don't possess the skills to do that, but I do paint the way I can paint, and I appreciate that all of us are unique. And I think that becoming a better artist is about having the courage to keep doing what you're doing and learn from others and take the opportunities as you're given them and to hold judgment I think that we're very poor judges. Typically, we're too subjective on our own stuff. So learning to listen to the voices that matter and take the encouragements as they come is just, I think, the way on. This is a joy to paint. It really, I mean, I feel like I'm quoting Bob Ross left, right, and center here. The joy of painting. It is a joy. I've taken my pulse actually. I wanted to see if my heart rate actually does go down when I paint, and it does. It clears my mind. It's just a joy to do. So I am inviting you to come with me and paint lots of different places. I hope to be able to do more lives as the account grows. I certainly am planning to be out and about painting and doing videos of that, and then being able to edit them and upload them. So I really appreciate that you're here. Everybody's asking for the like and subscribe and hit the alert button and all those things. But I would ask you, if you would like to see more content, then please do that. But I really appreciate that you might do that. I appreciate that you take the time to watch these videos and to hear what I have to say and to hopefully learn from me some way of painting and my beloved flat edge brushes. I love a flat edge brush. Don't get me started. And just hopefully you'll find some encouragement here as well. And Dean has made a statement here, so I'll read that out. Are you going to demonstrate all the different medias that I use? Yes, I plan to. The bulk, I put it on the little bio that I'm an ink and watercolor artist, mainly of areas in architecture. But I plan to do videos on lino printing, etching. I have a lovely little etching press you can get from Creative Printers of London. It's a great little press, wasn't too expensive either. To do demos of painting in acrylic and how I overlay with oil pastel. To keep going, obviously, with the watercolor and ink. I will also be using watercolor pencils, watercolor blocks, all sorts of different things. So yeah, Dean, hope to do that. So I'm going to hang on. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I think 12 minutes is probably quite enough of me just talking. But if there are any questions that you have, please feel free to type them in. I'm an extrovert. I really enjoy interaction, get an awful lot of life from it. So please do fire in any questions, even after the fact when this is uploaded, and I will get back to you as quickly and as best as I possibly can. So if there aren't any other questions, Dean, great, thanks. I just said that's great. Really looking forward to future posts. Thank you for that, Dean. Appreciate that. So if there aren't any further questions, then I'm going to hit the little end stream button, and hopefully going forwards, we can build up a wee bit more and do some more of these as time goes on. As I said, I really, really enjoy it. So any places that you would like to see painted within Northern Ireland, that you'd like to suggest that I could go to. I have obviously got lots of places in mind. I plan to do lots of lives, lots of plein air painting, but also to do lots of painting in my gorgeous little haven that is my studio in the back garden. But if there are media you would like to see me use, brushes you'd like to see me trial, paints you'd like to see me try out, I have never been a swatcher, but I have to say I have succumbed to the swatching. I had got some new paints that were, I think, like tinted charcoals from Derwent, and I thought to swatch them to be able to give me an idea as to what sort of colors I was going to get from it. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe if you would like to see more on this channel. And thanks very much. And I hope that you really will be able to come with me as I paint going into the future. So thanks very much, everyone. And see you sometime soon.